The babysitter's recording intro. It was 11 p.m. and the baby was finally asleep. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding and smiled down at the sleeping infant in my care. It had been a long day and I was exhausted, but thankfully the parents had left me the night before. All I had to do was make sure the baby slept well, and I could watch whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. As I turned away to grab the remote, I heard a noise. I stopped and listened. Was that a footstep? I shook my head, dismissing it. There were no other people in the house. Mr. and Mrs. Williams had made it very clear that they wanted me to stay in the living room while they were gone, so I wasn't expecting anyone to be upstairs. I pulled up the baby monitor on my phone just to make sure. The baby was sleeping soundly in his crib. I zoomed out slightly so I could see the entire room, and that's when I saw it. A pair of eyes staring directly at me from the closet. I froze, unsure of what I was seeing. Were they just a trick of the light? I told myself not to be silly. There was nothing in the closet. The closet door was propped open, and the eyes were definitely visible behind the hanging clothes. But there was no one in there. I told myself I was overreacting, but I couldn't help but feel a chill run down my spine. Maybe I should check it out. No, I told myself, you're being ridiculous. What if there is someone in there? You don't even know who or what it is. I mean, maybe it's just a stray animal. Yeah, a cat or a dog. That makes much more sense than a burglar with murderous intent, doesn't it? I decided to forget about it and went back to watching TV, but I couldn't help but keep glancing at the closet. I even tried turning on all the lights, but those seemed to have no effect on whatever was hiding in the darkness. Every time I turned around, it was like the creature was watching me. I started to feel really uneasy. Just then, my phone did. It was a text from the mother asking how the baby was doing. I was about to reply when I heard a noise from the closet again. This time it was a rustling sound, like someone or something was moving around inside. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. I knew I should call the police, but I was too scared to move. I just stood there frozen as the sound in the closet grew louder. Then suddenly, the closet door swung open and a pair of glowing eyes stared out at me. I screamed and dropped my phone, scrambling backwards. The eyes blinked slowly and a low growl rumbled from within the closet. I hit the floor, knocking the TV remote out of my hand. I crawled backwards until I hit the wall, my back pressed flat against the cold surface. I was trying to think of something, anything to scare this thing away, but all I could do was stare into its glowing eyes. Then I remembered the baseball bat. Mr. Williams kept it beside the couch for, just in case. I crawled towards it, reaching out a hand, my fingers brushing against the rough wood. I gripped it tightly, feeling a surge of adrenaline rush through my body. I swung the bat as hard as I could, connecting with whatever was in front of me. I didn't have time to think, to process what was happening. All I knew was that I had to do something, anything, to protect myself. When I finally came to my senses, I realized I was alone. The closet door was closed, and the only sound I could hear was the baby crying in his crib. I took a deep breath, my hands shaking, and slowly got to my feet. As I approached the closet, I could hear the baby crying. Relief washed over me. Whatever was in the closet was gone, and the baby was safe. I opened the door and stepped inside, my eyes adjusting to the darkness, and that's when I saw it. On the floor, curled up in a ball, was a small, dirty dog. It looked up at me with big, innocent eyes. The dog winced softly, its tail between its legs. I couldn't help but feel a wave of sympathy wash over me. It was just a scared, hungry puppy. I crouched down and reached out a hand. The puppy sniffed my fingers and licked my hand. I smiled and scratched behind its ear. I knew I should call animal control, but something about the puppy's big, innocent eyes made me hesitate. Maybe I could keep him, I thought. I looked around the closet and realized it wasn't just a closet. It was a small room with a window and a door. It was like a little hideaway. I opened the window and let the puppy out. He ran to the couch and curled up on the blanket, his tail wagging slowly. I knew I couldn't keep him. I didn't want to be a burden to the Williams family. Plus, he needed professional help. But I also couldn't bear the thought of him going to an animal shelter. I thought about it for a moment. Then I grabbed my phone and dialed a number. "Hi, is this the animal rescue line?" I asked. "Yeah, I found a puppy," I said. Yes, he's friendly," I replied. "Yeah, I found him in a closet," I explained. "Yeah, I think he's just lost and hungry." "Yeah, I understand," I said. "Thank you." I hung up the phone and smiled. Soon enough, the sweet puppy would be in good hands. As I watched him fall asleep on the couch, I felt a sense of satisfaction knowing that I had done the right thing. Well, that's all for today. See you next time. Bye.